Being entirely honest with oneself is a good exercise. Sigmund Freud stands as one of the most transformative and controversial figures in the history of the human sciences. To understand psychology, culture, literature, cinema, therapy, and even the way we speak about ourselves today, we must go back to Freud. His ideas are everywhere. Many people who have never read a single page of his work still use concepts he invented. Words like repression, ego, projection, complex, trauma, neurosis, and the unconscious have simply become part of how we understand human life. But who was Freud really, and why did his ideas reshape the world so profoundly? Freud's journey began with a radical question: what if the mind is mostly hidden from us? He believed that the majority of human thoughts and emotions lie outside of conscious awareness, buried in a vast territory he called the unconscious. For Freud, this hidden realm is not passive, it is active, alive, constantly influencing our choices, our fears, our habits, our relationships, and even the mistakes we make when we speak. Freud imagined the mind as an iceberg. The small, visible part, our conscious thoughts, floats above the surface, while the massive structure beneath shapes everything we do. This idea challenged the entire foundation of psychology at the time. Before Freud, people believed the mind was mostly rational and transparent. After Freud, the mind became mysterious, layered, conflicted, and driven by forces we barely understand. To explore these hidden forces, Freud created psychoanalysis, a method built around listening deeply to the patient. Instead of trying to fix symptoms quickly, Freud wanted to uncover the roots of suffering. He used techniques like free association, where patients speak freely without censorship, allowing unconscious memories and emotions to surface. He analyzed dreams, believing they revealed truth in symbolic language. He examined slips of the tongue, arguing that accidents in speech reveal deeper intentions, and he studied the emotional bond between patient and therapist, what he called transference, where old feelings from childhood reappear in the therapy room. Through this process, Freud discovered something powerful. When people understand the hidden forces shaping them, they gain freedom. Talking becomes healing. Insight becomes transformation. This is the origin of modern therapy. Freud also developed a model of the psyche that continues to influence psychology today. He described the mind as a dynamic conflict between three internal forces. The id is our instinctive self, driven by desire, appetite, aggression, and the pursuit of pleasure. It wants what it wants, immediately. The superego is our moral voice, shaped by parents, culture, religion, and society. It pushes us toward perfection, responsibility, and guilt. Between these two stands the ego, the mediator, constantly negotiating between inner desires, outer expectations, and the demands of reality. Freud believed that personality is formed through the tensions and compromises between these inner forces. Every choice, every conflict, every moment of guilt or temptation reflects this internal drama. One of Freud's most debated contributions is his theory of childhood development. He argued that early experiences leave deep psychological imprints that shape adulthood. Even events we don't consciously remember, moments from infancy or early childhood, can influence our behavior decades later. While many of his specific ideas about psychosexual stages are no longer accepted in modern psychology, the core insight remains vital. Childhood matters. The emotional climate of the family, the relationship with parents, the early experience of love, safety, fear, and frustration, all of these shape the adult personality in ways that can be lasting and powerful. Freud also introduced the concept of the Oedipus complex, a theory that children develop emotional attachments and rivalries that influence their later approach to relationships. While often misunderstood and oversimplified, Freud's point was deeper. Our earliest family dynamics shape how we love, how we trust, how we deal with jealousy, and how we handle conflict in adult relationships. Modern therapy continues to explore these patterns, even if the terminology has changed. Dreams held a special place in Freud's work. He believed they were messages from the unconscious, disguised in symbolic form. In his groundbreaking book, The Interpretation of Dreams, Freud suggested that dreams express desires, fears, conflicts, and memories that the conscious mind represses. The dream we remember, the manifest content, is just the surface. The deeper meaning, the latent content, contains emotional truths the dreamer may not be ready to face. Freud's exploration of dreams influenced not only psychology, but also art, film, and literature. Many of the dream sequences in cinema, from surrealism to modern psychological thrillers, owe their existence to Freud's ideas. Freud's theory of defense mechanisms, developed further by his daughter, Anna Freud, remains one of his most enduring contributions. These mechanisms are unconscious strategies the mind uses to protect itself from anxiety or emotional pain. Repression hides traumatic memories. Denial refuses to accept uncomfortable truths. Projection attributes our own unwanted feelings to someone else. Rationalization creates comforting explanations for painful behavior. Displacement redirects emotions to safer targets. Sublimation transforms destructive impulses into creative or productive activities. These mechanisms operate constantly in our daily lives, often without our awareness. Understanding them helps explain why we react the way we do in stressful or emotional situations. Freud's influence extends far beyond psychology. His ideas reshaped literature, inspiring writers like Kafka, Joyce, and Woolf. They influenced painters like Dali and filmmakers like Hitchcock. They changed advertising, politics, and even our understanding of sexuality and identity. Freud helped create a cultural shift where people became interested in self-exploration, emotional depth, and the hidden motivations behind behavior. He encouraged society to examine shame, guilt, desires, dreams, trauma, and childhood with new seriousness. Even if many of his theories have been revised, the cultural impact remains immense. But Freud's legacy is not without criticism. Some argue that his research lacked scientific rigor. Others say he relied too much on interpretation. Some claim he was overly focused on sexuality, while others believe he ignored important social and cultural factors. Yet even those who criticize him often build their ideas in response to his Freud's theories became a springboard for new schools of psychology, behaviorism, cognitive psychology, humanistic psychology, and modern neuroscience all emerged partly in reaction to him. He shaped the questions psychology asks, even when scholars disagree with his answers. Despite controversies, Freud's core ideas remain deeply relevant. He taught that human beings are not fully transparent to themselves. We carry secrets, fears, and wounds that influence us unconsciously. He showed that childhood shapes adulthood, that trauma has lasting effects, and that talking about our lives can lead to healing. He revealed that our inner world is complex, layered, and often conflicted, but also rich with meaning. Freud gave us a language for exploring the soul, and that language continues to evolve. More than 80 years after his death, Freud still matters. His vision of the mind opened a new era of self-understanding, therapy, and emotional awareness. Whether we agree with him or not, his influence is undeniable. He changed how we understand dreams, desire, memory, relationships, and suffering. He helped humanity begin a journey inward towards self-discovery and self-knowledge.